Niger Republic invasion. Nigeria will bear greater consequences should ECOWAS go to war, Balogun says. The retired military officer is confirming that Nigeria will suffer more and will have greater consequences if they go to war in the Niger Republic. Okay, a war veteran and retired Air Commodore Abayomi Balogun, in his interview, tells the Economic Community of West African States (ECOWAS) to consider going to war against Niger Republic. He warns that Nigeria will be the biggest loser should the regional body go to war. Chibuike Chukwu brings this excerpt to. So from the initial stage, using diplomacy would have won the game. It is always good to stand on the table to resolve issues. It is always better to discuss before going to war. Before you leave idea of war, it is always good to take the path of dialogue and discussion. So dialogue is always good, but it has been said that if it fails, it takes ECOWAS to go to war to restore normalcy and democratic governance. That will be right. What is your take on this? That is an option, but from the beginning, that would not be necessary because people approach issues from different angles. Our president, the ECOWAS chairman, being a Yoruba man, he is about aggression, okay, force and deploying force to everything. It is understandable. Yes, sometimes attack is the best form of defense, but first we have to start on defensive talk so that things won't get violent to a level. But then sending troops immediately will send the wrong signal. The Sierra Leonean and Liberian war never ended. Things were never settled on the war field. It was still on tables that issues were resolved, and in Liberia in particular, it took 7 different peace accords, treaties, agreements before things were resolved. It was the same with Sierra Leone. So things must be resolved amicably, and you must identify the problems, those involved, and why the crisis in the first place. Who are the actors and who are your friends and what are your interests? And it is after you have identified all these that you can say, based on what I have seen and observed, I am going to war. Yes, the coup plotters have given us a time frame of 3 years that they will be in power. That is a time for negotiation. That is a time for diplomats of repute. I mean, principled and good diplomats to step in. I said good diplomats because there are some of the diplomats, when they say yes, they actually mean no. There are a lot of them like that, and that is not the type I am talking about. Okay, so such respected diplomats should start engagements towards a very peaceful resolution of the crisis. And then they ask him again, what can ECOWAS do differently to ensure constitutional democracy returns to Niger? That's what I say in our negotiation. It is a very delicate issue. Niger is not Sierra Leone. Niger is not Liberia. Okay, that we went to full blast. You need to understand the basic issues here. Why the coup in the first place? What were the issues that led to the coup? And is the coup going to resolve the issues fast? These are things we must check. We must check at first before we even think of waging a war. Another thing is, can the coupists resolve the issues? Again, who are you going to fight against if you go to Niger for the war? You are not going to fight Niger when you go to war. You are going to fight different interests. So what are you going to take in order to receive? Okay, there are stakeholders like France and other Western countries whose interests you are going to fight against. The European Union, NATO, all have interest in Niger, and we look at it this way. In the eyes of the world, Niger is too powerful for 2 particular reasons. Okay, the uranium is very vital to the West, particularly Russia, who will fight to maintain the monopoly so that they can continue to make money. What of the West? Okay, will they allow Russia to have a monopoly of uranium? No. If there is anything they can do to break Russia's monopoly, they will do it. So Niger has presented itself as the carrot. Secondly, gas pipeline from some countries run from Niger to Algeria and then to Europe. Who owns it and who are the interested parties? It is the same West, and they are doing that in order to balance trade and power. So they will do everything to make sure that the gas pipeline they have invested so much on won't be ruptured. Okay, so ECOWAS must be very careful about plunging the region into an unending crisis. I think the instrumentality of negotiation shouldn't be disregarded here. The Sierra Leone war started in 1991, but ECOMOG was not deployed until 1997. There should be negotiations because war is not something someone should rush into. Okay, there are steps to follow to maintain peace. You must first know your enemy before committing your troops. I want ECOWAS to take their time and explore all available options first, and then the kinetic option should be the last option. Okay, on our part as Nigerians and based on our past experiences, we will majorly bear the brunt of the war. If ECOWAS decide to finally go to war, Nigerians will bear the brunt of it, and if not 100%, over 95%. Again, you can ask yourself how many French-speaking countries in ECOWAS have agreed to fight the war, okay, against their brothers. So ECOWAS must think twice before running into war with Niger. Okay, so that is exactly what this man is saying, that if Nigeria should go to war, we will suffer, and negotiation should be the key. Tinubu already made a mistake. Rather than starting with negotiation, he started with war threats, and that is probably what has aggravated the whole situation. And now what should have come first is coming last now. Now they're considering negotiation still with option of war on the left hand. Okay, that is not going to help. Nigeria should be careful, because if they go to that war, Nigeria will suffer most. But this man is saying that Nigeria will suffer over 90% of the brunt, if not 100%. There are a few comments. Somebody is saying nothing concern Nigeria in Niger coup. If Nigeria leaders were good to his people, okay, if Nigerian leaders were good to his people, okay, the people is only afraid because it may be his turn, since the Nigerians are jubilating over military takeover, since the civilian government felt unconcerned about the sufferings of the common citizens. Now, wow, must you comment? This kind of English tire me. So what is that to say? Nigeria is not good to her people. Nigerian leaders have been very wicked to her people. So Nigerians are also happy with their coup and are jubilating over the military takeover. So they need to be very careful when they go into that war. Okay. So we really need to be very careful. The autocratic behavior of ECOWAS will surely fail, and need an explanation from ECOWAS, France, US, Britain, and Germany that what did they do when CIA staged a proxy coup to overthrow Dr. Kwame Nkrumah? Or was that coup d'etat legitimate and the Niger coup illegitimate? What is the difference? Not only that, we have West African countries that are under military rule. Burkina Faso, Guinea, and Mali are under military rule. So what has these West, France, US, Germany, and all of them do to restore democracy in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Guinea? Nothing. So what is different in Niger Republic now? They haven't told us anything. Tinubu wants to lead Nigerians to become slave for forever if he enter war with Niger. Tinubu himself is not legitimate in his office because he didn't win that election. Okay, so that is what is happening here. Somebody saying Nigerians should not go to war because if Nigerians will suffer most if they go to war. Balogun, retired Commodore Balogun, has spoken.